Thanks for clicking through to another segment of Tech Talk with my old buddy Adam Oldfield from FPM3 Marketing. Adam?
Yes.
We have to welcome our new sponsor,
Yeah.
AML Communications, Rogers authorized dealers all over Southern Ontario.
You know what? Very exciting, and we're glad to have them a part of our group here. You know, I mean, we're talking tech, and I mean, what a great place to find out where all the tech gadgets are than AML.
We're going to be able to send them to the AML store. They're going to be able to play with these gadgets as we talk about them.
And learn about them and be able to buy them. I mean, at the end of the day, the key to these great technology tools is that they help be productive and you can be able to purchase them. So you can also visit them at amlcares.com. So,
perfect.
You know, make sure you visit the website as well and see all the things going on and visit the authorized dealers. They're all over Ontario, so yeah, make sure you do pop in.
Welcome, AML. We love to have you aboard. Thanks very much.
Thank you. All right.
What about Google, Chrome, Facebook,
Apple,
Facebook, Blackberry? I don't know.
What's going on in the world?
My goodness sakes alive, everything's changing. Every time you and I talk and we sit down, we say, hey, we got it. By the way, it's nice you got the memo.
I was going to say, yeah, pinstripe dark suit, got it.
But I just looked at your suit and I noticed that.
Yeah,
but,
thanks.
you know, because things are changing and we aren't, apparently. We're exactly the same. But
some things were meant to be the same. Some things were, you know. You don't want to change something that's perfect.
But this world of technology is going crazy with these companies.
It is. And right now what we've got at the given moment anyways is that we've got in Apple land, there's a rumor on the road. There's two things in Apple. In Apple land right now, what we've got is the Mini. They're calling it Air Video. It's going to be almost like the Kindle. So what you've got is the version that could be coming out. This is a rumor, okay? This was a rumor, not a fact. In 2012, which is almost here, is that we've got basically now this new Apple Air Video. It's going to be a miniature version. So you've got the iPod iPhone, then you've got the iPad. Now we're talking about an Air Video. The rumor rolls is that it's going to compete against the Amazon Kindle Fire. So the idea is it's going to be a great streaming video. It's going to have the capability of being able to run your books or be able to read. So, you know, the iPad is a little big and the iPhone's a little small. Rumor is it's going to be like a little notepad, just big enough that you can read, probably about the size of the Kindle Fire. So that's one interesting note.
Apple doesn't like competition.
No, it doesn't. And not only does it not like competition, if it hears you've got something similar to them, they also like to take you to court.
Ooh, I heard about that one.
Apple finally won their first battle against Android. And this is a milestone, not necessarily because of this specific patent that they've won against, but this little ground-setting stage is that Apple has set a foundation of several patent lawsuits that are out there, specifically against Android, which is an open source system. And this could set new foundations for what isn't allowed by the other guys. So in this case, the patent was more specific to a text conversion. So like type in a phone number and the conversion into a text format by dialing. And this is very instrumental because there's 3 units that were coming out in 2012 that are no longer to allow it. So Apple isn't going after the actual Android unit, they're going after the hardware guys. So the HTC that it was supposed to be on, I believe it's involved in all of their ice cream sandwich operating systems. So Google's got a little bit of work now to go back and say, okay, we got to fix that. But in the future court cases, this might set the groundwork.
It might, yeah, but Google's not sitting still.
Well, you know what? When you're this big, you know, that's probably one of those hiccups of to do.
Oh, what a pain in the neck.
Exactly. Well, that's a milestone I need to get over, but it's right at the bottom because, you know, Google has managed to come up with a few interesting things in their case. First of all, Google Chrome. If you're not using that browser yet, then you may want to. It's very fast, it's very innovative, it's quick, it's easy to use, and obviously there's many people out there because it's taken on 22% of the market share.
Wow. So
Internet Explorer was always the #1. So there's still people using IE6, which came out in 1996. So a lot of people are still using IE6, IE7, IE8, there's now IE9, and Chrome just overtook IE8. So what's very important here is that, you know, as a whole, Internet Explorer still is the market leader, but it's losing market share quickly. And if you take it by individual, the most recent browser, Chrome is #1, followed by Internet Explorer and then Firefox. So Firefox is still there, and it's still, you know, the market share is still the battle, and everyone's going and looking at it,
This
you know.
is a Google world.
Well, and you know, Windows is starting to pick up on a few of these little elements, because the old days, and Firefox just came out with it with Firefox 8, it automatically updates. So you don't have to sit there and get that notice, would you like to download?
Yeah.
It does it now, automatically, if you give it permissions. Why that's important is that these new features and all those things that you need to be aware of, it's just doing it through the browser itself. So Chrome came out with that. You probably didn't even know it, but when you first loaded Chrome, I think it was Chrome 10.
Yeah.
It's now Chrome 16. I don't even know when it's updated. I actually had to check it before I came on. I was like, what version am I using now? What did you guys upgrade it to? So the other side of it is Google Pages for business. This is important. Google Plus Pages, and we've talked about where the circles, you might have heard of Google Circles. Google Plus, their social media system, is now rolling out for the business. So you can set up your small business online, incorporate your message and your information now in that social marketing network. It's really a competitor to the Facebook, a lot more friendlier. You can build your circles, do your communication. Circles are little groups inside the Google that you can set up. So that's very intricate. So you can get out there right now, register. You can't get your custom URL yet. So having www.google.com/business, can't do that yet. However, I'm sure it's going to come. It's just a matter of time. Google also allows you in their maps. This is, I think, very important. Every small business needs to take the time.
Brilliant. Yes.
Allows you now to go in and add parks, cities, neighborhoods.
Your favorite store.
Your favorite gift shop, where you like to shop. So you can now set your life up in Google Maps. That you can basically go, here's where my daycare is, this is where I buy my coffee, this is where it comes with now the ability to customize the map that tells you there's too much traffic on the road. You might want to take an alternative route. So Google Maps is taking a very interesting way.
Google wants to take the thinking out of life.
Totally. They want to take a whole new perspective. And their new cameras, they're doing these screenshots. You see, they're updating their camera shots now. And you know, Google Satellite they've raised some very interesting things that go on in the world. You know, they found some pretty interesting things out in the deserts, and what's China doing. And anyway, that's scary. Now, on a side note, not technical, but let's talk about Google, that what they're still accomplishing. They invested $94 million in 4 solar panels that are going to be built to basically generate their own energy source. It will power up to 13,000 homes. That's 88 megawatts that these suckers will do. Why that's so important is Google's doing a very big rollout of other alternative energy sources. You know, Dalton McGuinty should maybe focus on maybe other things that we need, because guys like Google, they're getting smart and starting their own grid, and it's going to be available. It will become...
They're going to be self-sufficient.
It's going to be self-sufficient, and resources surplus could be resold. And what's important about this is Google's goal is to never be offline. Control their systems. Don't be relying on a government organization. If the government chooses to shut off, lose, or shut down, or strikes, Google's goal is never to be off. So this is very important. I mean, because right now, their clean energy investment program, they've got $915 million right now into this, which is interesting because their portfolio doesn't relate. It relates, but it's such an off-the-map area that it makes sense.
Seems more of a business strategy as opposed to anything else, because you know, their intent is to be online 100% of the time. Well, they're influenced by outside problems right now. And if they can contain everything within their own environment, they can control when they're online and when they're offline.
Again, you know, we just talked about all the things Google's offering. It's going to be critical. If that goes down, I mean, they've had issues with their Google Docs being off for 6 hours. That was one of those, holy, step back. Their Google Gmail. I mean, they've had many issues. They got to, you know, keep in mind, they're getting bigger and more resources are using them. And this is important, that they have to be able to control a lot of their elements to be in business. So let's talk about their social media partner, or nemesis, dun dun dun, Facebook. So here's Facebook. They're coming out December the 26th, brand new look. Everyone with a personal account is now allowed to have timeline. So now allowed, it's not a matter of allowed, it's a matter of get used to it, it's going to happen, you don't get the choice. So you can preview it now, before December 26th, but after December 26th, if you're watching this program after this, it's already in effect. So Facebook's introduced it. why this is interesting is that, there's certain rumors going on right now. The look of it is, it's kind of interesting. It's got your entire history right down from when you were born. You can put pictures of when you were born in there. There's rumors in the, I'll call it I'll call it cemetery world, that, the new thing in Facebook is that if you pass on, you keep your Facebook alive, and there's people still posting on people's sites as if they were still here. Kind of weird. And that's this new craze of where Facebook...
It's the new thing, you live forever.
It's the memory game. It's one of those I never want to forget, and we'd like to remember.
You know what? Not a bad idea.
It's not, and a lot of people are starting to reference that in this timeline. So you can see the lifestyle or lifespan of someone, and that's Facebook's strategy, is to come out and say, this is you, this is your life, this is where you can...
Reminds me of a movie that...
we're going to talk about some future things. Wait till you hear about that movie.
Yes.
In our next segment, we'll talk about a few of those projects. So all those things going on within the world of Facebook, Google, and Apple, and
what about Blackberry, though?
Well, in Blackberry, you know what? I didn't want to leave them out, but
know, they got their own little problems.
Yeah, they've hit a few rough spots. I mean, we know about the playbook. They've had to take a pretty big loss. They were expecting 5.17 billion in revenue, and that's what they got. That's down from what they expected, which was 5.49. So the year before. So there's a lot of different. They're not having some challenges in their financial statements.
BBX is now
it's called 10. Yeah, so BBX, which we once promoted, it was coming out, is now reverted, and it's now going to be called BlackBerry 10, which I think is suiting. However, somewhere we lost 8 and 9.
Yeah.
But 1, 2, skip a few. Here we go, brand new. Good for you, BlackBerry.
But you still, because Adam, you and I have talked quite a bit about this.
Yeah.
You still got faith in that system.
I do.
You still have faith in BlackBerry.
You know what? I was at the Apple store the other day, and I'm an Apple advocate. Don't get me wrong. I love them. Hey, iPads, I love them too. And I've got both. I use them for certain purposes. And I was in the Apple, and I'm looking at the iPhone 4S, and it's got Siri, and there's a segment we'll talk about voice recognition systems. But here's the key component for me. I'm an active businessman. So what I need active abilities to be able to set up a calendar, invite someone, get confirmation. Even in OS 5, in the iPhone, you still cannot send an automatic email to the person in your calendar. I just think that's so critical. So if you look at still a BlackBerry's capabilities, it's by far, it's got miles ahead in the business sector for people to use. Is it, apps by the millions or 500,000s? Is it, got cool little swipes? And yeah, it's got a few of those. And you know what? But it's still, at the end of the day, these are meant to be business tools. They are meant to be communications. They are meant to be planning. They are meant to make you, in business, money. They're not meant to be toys. Toys are what you do at home. If you want to have toys, you go home and you play with them. So, in my opinion, BlackBerry still is a leader, particularly when it comes to business applications, how they're built, how they operate, and the other guys have a long way to go to catch up.
Well, folks, sorry to give you so much information on Google and Chrome and Facebook and Apple and BlackBerry, but that's the way Adam is sometimes. Sometimes he fools me.
There's so much to talk about. I get giddy about it.
Thanks, AML, for coming on. Wonderful to have you as sponsors of our program, and go to amlcares.com. Adam, thanks very much. See you next time.
Yes, thanks, Greg.